Hello, the internet. Welcome to Pocket Gamer LaunchPad. This is the first event of its kind. We are going to be covering all manner of mobile gaming news, previews, exclusives, and other things as well. First, my name's James Gilmore. Hello there. I am the video editor over at pocketgamer.com, which is a site that you should definitely immediately bookmark. Don't worry, I'm going to sit here and wait while you do that. If you can just... Cool, I assume you've done that and that's all taken care of. And we are going to be talking to you for the next couple of hours. We're going to be showing you brand new games for mobile you've never seen before. We're going to be showing you updates that haven't been previewed yet. We're going to be doing a bit of gameplay with games that you haven't seen. And I know some of you are talking about a little thing called Catalyst Black. I understand there's a little bit of buzz. We've spoken to them, we've got an interview, we've got some reveals. It's all gonna be coming up in the next couple of hours. I'm not doing this alone though. Oh no, I'm gonna be joined by my cohort. It is Ric Cowley. Is he there? Can you hear us?
Sorry, hello.
Yes, it works. The internet. Ah, fantastic. That's how
like
we start things.
It's like an interview on the BBC where they have to wait 20 seconds for them to actually register that a question's been asked. Hello.
Isn't it though? Yeah. So, Rick, I've done my introduction. I'm the video editor at Pocket Gamer. Who are you?
Who am I? That is a question. I am Ric Cowley. I'm the editor of PocketGamer.biz. We are the business side of the Pocket Gamer family. No less fun. We do like to have a good time, a jolly good time on Biz, talking about those mobile games and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm going to do now with James, and we're going to talk about, as you say, some really exciting games. I'm very excited about some of the stuff we've got coming up over the next 2 hours.
Absolutely.
Are you hyped?
Well, can't you tell? Look, one side of me is glowing pink, one side of me is glowing blue. Of course I'm hyped. How could I not be? This is the first time that anyone has done this. Like, this is the first time we've done the event ourselves. We're going to be doing it not just today, but for the next 2 days as well. So you're going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, same time, 2 hours every time. We're going to be covering every single day new stuff. We're not going to be repeating ourselves, maybe once or twice, but mostly it's going to be exclusive new things. We've got a really full lineup for you here today, which we're going to be kicking off with in just a sec. First of all, you can see that we are brought to you in association with other people. This is the kind of quality that you can expect above me. You've got PUBG Mobile and your Bandai Namco, your Gameloft, your One Punch Man, your Super Evil Megacorp. All of these people have helped us bring this to you on the front page of your Twitch there. And I'm just hyped to be excited. Now, first of all, everyone go and follow the channel. I can see you all in the chat there. It's great to have you here. Throw up questions, get chatting to each other, discuss the games that you're interested in seeing, get hype, because this is, let's be honest, what this is all about. Is there anything you're particularly interested in seeing? I was about to ask you, but you can't say, can you? Because it's secret.
I mean, there's literally nothing I can say right now. You're just going to have to wait for the next 2 hours and see what I get really excited about to see what I was excited about. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, and that's how it's going to be. Look, because it's the first time, I don't like it when things are too slick, all right? I'm going to warn you all up front. I think slick, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel human. I like to have the human touch. So because it's the first time, maybe things will go wrong. Maybe something will explode. Maybe a video won't play properly. We'll see. I'll probably be bad at a game. That bit I can guarantee.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
And Rick's going to call me out on it throughout. But just thank you all so much for being here and getting involved in this. And thanks to everyone who's helped bring us here right now. And I think it's time to get started. Should we kick things off?
Let's kick things off.
Let's get this going. So not bearing the lead here, the name is right up there, PUBG Mobile. First thing we're talking about today, and it is a brand new map along with a bunch of other stuff. So this is the new Livik map that they've just announced, Rick. And they've come at this with a particular angle. I spoke to some of the people who were involved in it, and I'm going to throw up just a little sneaky peek of gameplay in the background here so we can see what's going on. And they were having a cup of coffee over there at PUBG HQ, and they went like, what we want a version of the game. We want a map that we can play that takes the same time that it takes to drink a cup of coffee. So other maps, might be much larger, up to 100 players, that kind of thing. The Livik map's different. It's 2K by 2K, so 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, and you can only have up to 52 people on the map at any one time. So the thing that they mentioned was that if you shoot anything anywhere, doesn't matter if it's a nice small gun, doesn't matter if you've got a suppressor on it, everyone's going to hear you. There is nowhere to hide on this map because you can be heard pretty much everywhere you are, and that's what they want. They want to pile you right on top of each other from the very beginning, so the end game comes that much quicker. They're pushing everybody towards the center, and the idea is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you'll be done. You'll be dead or you'll be eating chicken dinner. That's the way that it works. I played a bunch of PUBG when it first came out on mobile. It's one of the only ones, like, between this and Fortnite, I leaned towards this. Did you do either of them too much, or?
I've played a bit of PUBG Mobile. My big claim to fame was I was there covering the PUBG Mobile Star Challenge Global Finals in 2018. I have it written in front of me.
Yeah, you were, weren't you?
I was out in Dubai with them. They had a huge tournament going on with teams all in containers. It was really cool. And actually, one of the things that this sort of made me think of was there was 2 very different styles of play. And the sort of the Western teams, your North American and European teams, they would all play very, very slowly. And they would all like slowly gather up a load of resources and build themselves up so that then their end game would be they are massively overpowered. Right. The teams from Asia had the complete opposite way of doing things, and they would just massively overwhelm the other teams. Like, as soon as the game started, they would grab cars and then they would start boxing everybody in with these cars, and they'd just go in with whatever weapons they have and just eliminate everybody. So I think this is very much in that sort of spirit. It's that very aggressive style of play that some people, I don't think, it's going to be a mix. I think some people are really going to like this, and I think it's perfect for mobile because obviously, shorter play times. That's what your phone's built for, really.
That's what we want. And I always get concerned when people bring console games over to mobile and they don't think about the fact that it's a mobile game. You need to be able to pick it up and put it down. Short play times, quick play sessions. That's what it's all about. So in addition to the Livik map itself, which as you can see is a Nordic map, it's all snow-capped mountains and that, there are outdoor springs, pools you can get into and hide inside, and if you stay in the pool for a little bit, you might find yourself recharging a little bit. Try it out, you might like it, it's warm and cozy and lovely. You've got exclusive firearms as well, so we're talking the SMG P90, that's going to be added to it, as well as the Mark 12. This is all available at the minute. And it's part of their Spark the Flame. I want to get this right. Spark the Flame. That's right. That's what the whole thing is called. And so if you want to get involved with it, you can hightail over there right now. You were talking about boxing people in with cars, Rick. Monster trucks. The exclusive map for this one is a monster truck.
Nice.
So they are, not even pretending to be subtle at this point. And I don't know, on a map that small, frankly, I've got no idea. It's going to smashing through literally everything in sight. They've also done some improvements. I think the last update, they did some tweaks to the ability to reskin your gun. You can make your own skins now for your guns, create custom ones, which is quite a neat touch. They added improvements to that as well. And basically, there's a lot to be getting on with. You can go and find the trailers, and incidentally, every single thing that we talk about over the next couple of hours, you can find it all over on pocketgamer.com. We're going to be, every one of these things has a story accompanying it. If we talk about, for example, how to sign up for early access for something, the details will be over there. So go and add that to your bookmarks. And likewise, the videos will wind up going up on our YouTube channel. So Pocket Gamer YouTube. Go and find that one as well, and you'll be 100% equipped to deal with it. What else have we got? New bubble emotes, sound improvements, new shooting range elite. So much stuff. Too much stuff, in fact, to talk about.
Not enough stuff. We need more content. But
really?
I'm excited for the content that is currently available. I
Sure.
do like the sound of monster trucks more than anything in the world.
Yeah,
Imagine those. Imagine having a monster truck in a regular game of PUBG where everybody's sort of slowly inching around and going about their business and trying to, gather up some resources. And all of a sudden, a great big monster truck just rips in front of you and smashes you to the ground. Absolutely love it. You'd love to see it.
I think I had a dream like that involving monster trucks. So yes, the Guncraft firearm, that's been updated as well. So go and have a look if you're still playing PUBG Mobile, and frankly, most people are. Go and check it out, get involved in the event, and we'll be giving you a few more tidbits about it tomorrow and on Saturday as well. So stay tuned for the later streams if you want a little bit more information. Now then, let's find out about something else, shall we?
Neon Lights Anthropomorphic Mutants online competitive multiplayer, mixed with unique arcade-like top-down game mechanics. This is Hovercrees, a high-speed online hero shooter set in a dystopian bio-cyberpunk Earth where mankind has been experimenting with mixing humans with animal DNA. Without giving away too much information about the world or the backstory of its heroes, this video is a spoil-free overview of the Hovercrees gameplay, showcasing both its unique features and also helping you get started with the basics of the game. I'm Alexandra, co-designer and developer of Hovercrees, and I'll be guiding you through this gameplay overview. Please be aware, Hovercrees is still in development. This video does not represent the final look of the game. Grounded in the rules of science fiction, Hovercrees is all about competitive multiplayer. It's a weapon-based game with a mix of projectiles, instant ray-traced bullets, and short-term boosters, among other more hero-specific specialities such as shields or healing weapons. Each match, 2 teams of 5 are fighting in various team objective competitions. A match can have up to 15 rounds, but these numbers are different for each game mode and whether or not this is a casual or ranked game. For Alpha 6, the focus has been around spotlight control, where each team will fight for control over a designated area on the map that changes every round. You can pick your preferred hero, each with its own unique arsenal and abilities. At the beginning of each round, you must also choose your weapons. Each hero can carry 1 primary, 1 secondary, and 2 utilities. Each round, all players will win credit for the next one based on their performance. The easiest way to earn credit is just to focus on the objective, aka spending time in the spotlight. For every completed match, you will also receive G-Coins, the Hovercrees premium currency that can be used to buy skins and other enhancements. This pretty much concludes our overview bootcamp video of Hovercrees. If you'd like to be part of our Alpha 6 or stay up to date with our progress, sign up to our newsletter on hovercrees.com.
So, Hovercrees. I'm interested in this one, Rick. This has got me curious for a number of reasons.
Is it all the sexy animals that have got you curious?
Well,
there was a lot of sexy animals in there, I have to say.
Yes. Now, I did notice that, and I'm sure you guys in the stream probably noticed that as well. Look, I cannot comment. This is not my game. I am not the artistic director. That's not how I covered things. But it is nonetheless. This is a Kickstarter affair. This is something that's going to be appearing on Kickstarter. It's going to be going live sometime during Gamescom. So 2020. We're looking for August 25th, 29th. Seeing the date 2020 next to Gamescom, given the current situation with everything. By the way, hope you're all safe out there. Everyone's staying well and healthy and face covered and all that business. Seems strange because so many events have been cancelled or moved online and become digital, and this is kind of a symptom of this. This is why we're doing it. We're doing it like this. But it's going to be revealed as a Kickstarter sometime over there. And let me just throw up a little picture for you. There you go. There's a chicken in a waistcoat hoppering over a crate, a van. I don't even know what that is.
James, you're avoiding the key part of that chicken. Is that his name is Johnny Cockhead, which I'm not sure I'm even allowed to say on stream, but it is his name, and I do love that. Having now seen this video, I'm actually a big fan.
I let you lead it to this one because, like, I knew this was going to be your cup of tea.
I didn't know it was going to be my cup of tea until I saw it.
All right.
But I'm actually a big fan. So it looks like it very silly, does not take itself too seriously whatsoever, which I always appreciate in a game. You've got these weird mutant animal, creature, humanoid things running around, shooting at each other with a variety of guns. I like the look of the loadout system, so having a bunch of different guns that you can switch between. It looks very fast-paced, very future, neon, all that sort of lovely business. It does look actually like graphically pretty good as well. I've quite enjoyed just how fluid it looks mostly. I have some notes here as well about, so it's a twin stick shooter.
We should say up front, 5v5 hero shooter is the angle. Yep. You probably, I don't know, saw little hints of, I don't know, the Overwatch sort of visuals. Overwatch has kind of crept into everything, I think, because it's had such a massive impact in terms of being a hero shooter and having individual characters that are very distinct and cartoony and a bit of kind of colourful fun. It's really captured everyone's imagination, so you see it bleeding through into a lot of game design. The same way the Battle Royale games have become synonymous. Everyone has to do a Battle Royale or add a Battle Royale mode to their game nowadays, so it's not.
I think this has its own sort of individuality, though, with the mutant sort of style, and as I say, like the super futuristic, like battlegrounds, if you will. And as you're saying, it's a 5v5 hero shooter, so you've got like different classes to play as. There's a bull, which is melee only. There's a rat character, which has healing properties. You saw in the video there was a cockerel, a fox.
Do you know the name of the rat as well? Does it have a
I don't know the name of the rat, unfortunately. I wish I did.
Man.
Foxy Bonbon was another character in there.
That's a real name. You're kidding me.
That's the name in the game. You know, I think you've got to stand by him on that one. That's just gold.
Hey, look, I'll let them have it. I do kind of want to know what the other. Throw your animal names into the chat, people. If you can come up with weird and clever animal names for the characters that you just saw, that they can't be ruder than what we just heard. So do you know any other names, or was it just those?
Those are the ones I saw. I think Kimmy Frog was the name of the frog, which is less,
that's acceptable.
That's a good name. That's a strong name, Kimmy Frog.
We'll allow that. The thing with this I'm interested to see is twin stick shooters. Twin stick shooters are a difficult thing to get right, particularly on mobile. And this stands for mobile in general, right? We've been covering this a long time. We should probably say that Pocket Game has been around since the beginning of mobile. We are talking Java. We are talking Sony Ericsson 3310. Nokia 3310. We are talking like the original Snake. We've been around since then. And so we have seen things go from Java, going on to feature phones, going on to the advent of the very first iPhone, which was an iPod originally, and then through Android and everything else. So we're now to the point where games are running, you're running Unreal 4 on this thing, and we're doing multiplayer cross-platform between PC and mobile. It's like ludicrous what we can do on the platform now. And there are still a lot of people out there who just see mobile and go, mobile, rubbish. And I haven't looked at all the comments. I bet you there are some comments saying that right now. Because that's what people do. And I get it. I get the kind of hostility that you can generate towards this kind of stuff, because people think it's all just like, it's all just match 3 puzzlers and that's it, or it's not serious, it's not real gaming and all the rest of it. And we've been doing this a while, you and I, and some of the best stuff we've seen, I've seen in the past few years, the most ingenious stuff has come from the mobile area. And I'm talking about things that utilize the touchscreen in a way that no other platform or controller could. So me and you I love, for the example, The Room, that game. And that's all about, if you haven't played it, guys, anybody watching this, go check out The Room and The Room series on mobile, because it's all about a puzzle blocks which you're moving around and unlocking, and it's like you're reaching through the screen, because the fact it's a touchscreen capacitive, you can just grab items and move it, and you can take a drawer and open it. And if this was done on a controller, if you had a PS4 and you were just waggling a stick, it's not the same. It feels so much better on a touchscreen. It's all about using the platform to its strengths, and every platform has different strengths. So
I am so excited to see where this is going.
So getting twin stick shooters, something that traditionally is designed for joysticks, right, to work really well on a touchscreen, was tricky. At the beginning, I didn't think they felt that good. They've come a long, long way, and the same is true of first-person shooters. So that's why with this one, with Hovercrees, I'm thinking I'm hoping, at least, they've managed to sort the dual stick controller thing out in a way that's comfortable, because I've played a lot that haven't worked from years back, but more recently they've been kind of kick-ass. They've managed to nail the controllers, I think.
Absolutely. And this one looks like it certainly looks like it, even if it's a little bit floaty, it can always be that kind of same level of fun. And I imagine the pace of it and everything like that is still going to be enough that even if your controls are it's still going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, it looks really cool. So as you were saying, it is coming to Kickstarter August 25th.
That's right.
I believe if it's a success, they are planning to go into early access in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a little bit of a ways out from being ready. It looks pretty good already. Obviously, the menus, I think, could do with some polish, but the game itself looks like there's a really clever idea there. There's some fun things to do in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm excited to see where this goes and where the developers can take it, to be honest.
All I'm seeing from the chat is frog game and frogs are scary. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to argue with you guys. All right. This is a challenging time for all of us, and I'm not sure that frogs with guns are making it any easier. But like Rick said, you can go over and check out the homepage over there on Pocket Gamer. We've got the story. If you're interested in the Kickstarter, if you want to see more about it, see some more videos, maybe pledge and get it going. If this is your kind of thing, if you want to see that frog get that gun, then you can go over and do it right now. I'm going to put that cockerel away before people get too excited.
How are frogs scary? I'm sorry, chat. How are frogs scary? Please explain.
Well, let's go from potentially not that scary to actually scary. Here's something new. The announcement trailer for Undying there. Now, I'm getting a big grim zombie vibe off of this one. Tell me more, Rick. I think you've looked into this.
Yeah, I've been looking into this because this looks really, really up my street. So it's, as you say, it's zombie survival. As you can see from it, you're looking around, you're crafting stuff, you're gathering resources. But the key thing here is that you are a mother and you've been bitten. And so your death is inevitable. And what you have to do in this game is basically teach your son the necessary skills to survive once you're gone. Which right. I think adds a whole new level of connection and emotional stuff to this game. I really like that angle in particular because in terms of actually what happens in gameplay, that means you'll be as you can see in the trailer, you set up a crafting table and then your son will help you with crafting and he sort of watches as you do and then starts doing it himself. There's also cooking, I believe, where he'll learn how to cook just by watching you cook, and then combat as well. So there are obviously zombies trying to kill you.
They will do that.
And if you are getting stuck, if your son knows the necessary stuff and has seen you fight enough zombies, he will help out and start attacking them for you. There was a bit in the trailer there where you're getting bitten, the mother character's getting bitten, and then the son attacks it with a slingshot and it stuns it enough to get you away, kind of thing. I think there's so yeah, as I say, I think that's a really interesting way of doing things. We've seen a lot of zombie games.
This is a wider conversation, isn't it? Yeah, because zombie has become such over the past. We were talking about battle royale games, they have become the thing you have to have now. Zombies were the other thing. Zombies are kind of everywhere, from The Walking Dead onwards through to literally every single property, even if it's Call of Duty and zombie modes or whatever it might be. Zombies are kind of everywhere, and there was a point I think where I was like, do we have to have any more? Is there any interesting way of doing this? And of course, one of the biggest games on console is kind of a zombie theme. I mean, When they don't call them zombies, they call them clickers, but we know they're zombies, really. Infected, whatever. The principle still applies, and it's this big metaphor that everybody uses to describe kind of anything. Like going back to the Romero movies, the idea that it was all about zombies represent consumerism, this kind of capitalist creep of people mindlessly wanting to eat anything and everything. And so harnessing stories and making games where they are the great mass that's approaching you, they are the swarm that's bearing down on you, has always worked from a gameplay perspective. Lots of cannon fodder to deal with. But more recently, and certainly with something like this, it's about making you feel vulnerable, isn't it? Like, that's the angle. These they're not like kitted out with like MK-47s and grenades and stuff. They are wandering around, under-equipped, in the rain, trying to get away, if they possibly can, from everybody. And that's, I think, where the more compelling stuff lies.
I think what actually scared me most watching that is like noticing. So there was a bit in that trailer where they're sort of trying to get through a door and there's a zombie horde, but the horde's only about 7 zombies. There's something scary about there being less zombies. I think
you're right.
We've reached a point in like zombie games where it gets to a point where it's like, oh, there's about 100 zombies between me and wherever I'm going. I'll probably be able to kill most of them. If you're only being presented with 7 zombies, that indicates to me that if even one of them get you, you're boned. Like, that's it for you. So like, I think it's definitely going to be a case of, as you say, like being more vulnerable. And I think you're going to be so vulnerable. And I think that's going to add a lot to the tension. But also like having a small child to look after at the same time, like that's obviously going to get into some people's psyches. I don't have a child. I imagine it's quite scary being
I hear
in
they're
a
quite,
place of constant danger.
I hear they're quite fragile. I understand I was one at one point, but clearly I was tough as nails. But
one thing as well, sorry, that I've really liked is not to get too much into a bit of discourse here, but there's been a lot of talk of like the dadification of games.
Yeah,
don't know if you know about
yes. So people are talking about online.
As you're saying, like with the big console game, if we want to refer to it by a pseudonym.
Let's be coy.
That's a story about a dad who sort of raises a girl. This is a story, that sort of thing has happened. We've had God of War, we've had a bunch of other stuff that has these central dad figures and they're seeing emotions through children and that all that sort of nonsense. I think it's interesting that this one has gone for you play as a mother rather than a dad. I think it's an interesting shift, and obviously it's not that, it's that thing of having a capable female character.
Like, you have to do this. This term "strong female" gets thrown around a lot, and I think it gets used as a substitute for like, well, let's put a woman in there and make her act like a traditional macho man act. And I don't think that's what that role should mean. Not that I'm the best person to talk about it, being a guy, but you know what I mean? I think people abuse the term in a way that isn't helpful, and that you want to use it for something that's actually positive, like genuinely positive. And something like this, where you play the mother and the mother-daughter connection, that's, or mother-son, that's been done before. Monument Valley, another classic, brilliant mobile game that works beautifully on mobile, better than it would anywhere else, because you're swiping around those amazing structures and twisting and turning them to see them from every angle. The sequel to that one was a mother-daughter story as well, and a really powerful one that was wordless, basically. Occasionally got a bit of text, but mostly it's told through the visuals. And this game, Undying, I don't know if you noticed, like no eyes, no mouths, no faces in the characters, which itself is kind of eerie and a little bit creepy. So I think right down to the art style, they've gone for something slightly creepy and unusual. We'll have to wait and see, as with all these things, how it turns out. You can go and find more information about it. There was early access that came to Steam in Q1, so that's already been out and about. But if you want more details, if you want to get your hands on it, if you want to see how it's doing and when it's coming, when it's out, go and check out pocketgamer.com. By the way, if there's any new people joining to the stream, I know there's a few of you out there. Hi, we're Pocket Gamer. This is Pocket Gamer LaunchPad. It's the first event of this kind we've done. We're premiering a whole bunch of new mobile games. We've got exclusive video, we've got exclusive content, we've got reveals of games that haven't been announced yet. We've got exclusive footage and reveals. And I know, yes, Catalyst Black, we're getting there. Don't worry, Ric's excited to talk about it as well. It's all coming soon, and we've had help from a few people you can see above us. So PUBG Mobile, Bandai Namco, Gameloft, One Punch Man, Super Evil, Megacorp, they've all been here to help put us up and in front of you lovely people. Go easy on us. It's the first time. We've done half an hour. Nothing has exploded yet. I'm still waiting for it to. I don't trust it when things go
Don't
right.
jinx it, James.
It's going to look. Come on, something's going to explode. Come on, my top's going to explode in a minute. Like something will happen. That door's going to fly open, and that crazy chicken from the previous game he's going to come in with an Uzi, and it's going to be curtains for me. You know it's going to happen. It isn't. Right. All right. Fine. I'm leaving you all. I'm going away, and I'm leaving you with something that is a brand new announcement that's just gone live today, I believe. Who wants to get a bit Lego-y? Let's have it. Right then, I'm going to put a little thing up because this makes my heart happy. Ah, look at that! Look at them! The team, the crew. Ah, you love to see it. So, in case you hadn't guessed, Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed. It's got a massive content update, biggest one since its launch, in fact. And the first time they've brought in characters into this game from outside the Lego universe, from outside the IP. So this is the original 1984 Ghostbusters crew, all racked up there. And they are going to be popping up somewhere in Pip Town. And there's a green ghost enemy, and he's coming in, and slime has popped up, and everything is going to hell. So they've called in the OG Ghostbusters to deal some spooky ghost-busting justice. Ghostbusters?
I don't think they were really in the business of justice. I think they were in the business of catching ghosts. I don't know if that's necessarily justice.
Spiritual justice, Rick. What are you, there is no higher justice. They're shutting them down. They're locking them in a big red box for eternity.
Is that justice, though, James?
They're Judge Dredd, but for poltergeists and that. That's how this thing works. Anyway, so this is currently available. The content update is there. I don't know if you've played Lego Legacy. It's one of those sort of light RPG games where you're battling your team against another team. Take it in turns. Do some quick attacks and commands, and then obviously the idea is to collect teams, build up your dudes, level up everybody. And these guys, they've tried to balance them out, and obviously they're going to lean towards being able to take on spooky enemies because there is a spooky power in the game. So they're going to be handling that. The question is, of course, do you get the car? Do we get to see Ecto-1? And the answer is yes. Which, if I'm really honest with you, I don't spend a lot on Lego. I'm not one of those people you know the really expensive sets where it's like you can buy a Death Star for like £500 and it's like crazy money. The one thing that I really hovered over, where the cursor's like this and I'm going, was the Lego Ecto-1. I really kind of wanted the original. I love that original car. It's the coolest thing, and it's a big part of my childhood. And liking Ghostbusters is the most vanilla milquetoast thing in the world. Who doesn't like the original Ghostbusters? But
I mean, how can you not like Ghostbusters?
No, exactly. So it's a little bit well, yeah, of course you like it. But I would be super into getting that car at some point. I'm saving it because it's the draw. It's the lead up to getting the thing that's most exciting, Rick. That's what I've learned in my years.
Now, James, you can have it in digital form.
I can
collect the car along with all the other characters, who I believe as well. I've been doing some reading ahead.
Oh yes.
I'm just teasing maybe that some of the characters will have their own special abilities that are based on their characteristics from the films. I believe.
Yes, that is true.
So that's cool and interesting. And I also believe that in some ways this is actually easier to make than other content updates for Lego games because it basically wrote itself.
That is what they said. Yeah,
it's what I understand. I'm not saying it was super easy to make this game. That's just what I've read.
I love when people do that, and they're just like, can't you just make this update? It'll take 5 minutes. Can't you just add multiplayer? Just add multiplayer. The button in the game where you just press that and it works. Just do that. It's easy.
Just click the online button.
Yeah.
But also as well, I don't think this is going to be the last of the new IPs to be added to the Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed.
No.
Because this is the first one, and then it's coming on its own new plot of land, bit of island.
That's
space.
right. So there are different like places within the game. There are different zones where the Lego characters exist, and they are creating a brand new zone. Whether these guys are going to appear, the Ghostbusters are going to drop in, and then other characters from other IPs are going to be populating that same zone. So yeah, the Ghostbusters are not the first like outside movie franchise or whatever that's going to appear. So if you are into collecting the digital versions of these characters and you want to branch out into the wider world of pop culture for your Lego bits and bobs, then you might want to get on this if this is your thing. I've spoken to some people who are already playing it and were getting very excited and going into like granular detail about all the updates and the different powers that they're going to have, and the way that like, these two are going to be able, and you get those free at the beginning, and then you have to earn these, and it's like, right, okay, wow. So people take this game very seriously.
I'm sure they do. You know, a good collection RPG inspires a person to be better.
To be better. to fight for spiritual justice, like I was saying, Rick, all along. You guys in the chat, you know. You got it. Anyway, so you can go and have a look at that right at this very moment. If you want to see more information, if you want to watch the trailer again, or if you want to just download the game, all the links are over at pocketgamer.com, and the video, you'll find that over on our YouTube channel as well. All right then, now we're going to talk about a game. We're also going to play a game that has been a big favorite of everyone's over the past like year or so. And we're going to debut something a little bit special before we go into talking about it a bit further. So brace yourselves.
You should forget all about ichthyosaurium.
That's incredible. It's been so long since I've seen anyone climb up here.
I've destroyed the madman's ship. Now they won't be able to leave this place.
This curse will become my strength. As long as Ichthyosaurium can be saved, I will have no regrets, even if I become a monster.
Sorry, but I'm not your hero who comes to save the world.
That changed the tone dramatically, didn't it? We're gonna have to lose the Ghostbusters for a minute because things just got really spooky. Sorry. So
call in the Ghostbusters. Sorry,
because we've got to deal with Pascal's Wager. Now, this is a game that when it was announced, when people revealed it, we were like, really? Is this a thing that's going to work? And weirdly enough, it really worked. This is one of those things where people touted it as like, is it Dark Souls for mobile? Is that what they're trying to do? And I think everyone was fairly honest about kind of going, I mean, yes, there's an inspiration there. Certainly that's the idea. You can't play it on mobile, the Souls games. So can we do something maybe that captures the same sort of feel? And everyone was like, no. Out the gate. And I'm a guy who really likes Bloodborne, okay? So I understand the skepticism towards this kind of thing. It's proved very successful. So successful that they've been able to follow up with a lot of DLC and updates. So the first DLC that came out for this game was called Deep Into the Dark Mist. And now this one, the thing you just saw there, that was a new expansion called The Tides of Oblivion. This is going to basically double the game world. It takes place in a completely new map. And it's going to be coming around summer, they say, summer 2020, which is obviously a little bit coy, but perhaps folks haven't actually seen the game running. So I thought it would be nice if we had a little look at it right now. So this is Pascal's Wager. Now, you have to excuse me, I'm going to be playing a mobile game, so my head's slightly down here. I don't want to be rude. But I've gone right back to the beginning of the game. I played this a bit when it first came out. I am not an expert, but I want to show you what this looks like, how smooth this is running, and what to expect from it if you were to give it a bit of a go. Did you get your hands on this one, Rick, when it first appeared, or not?
I honestly, this is a failing on my behalf, I've never played Pascal's Wager.
Okay, let's time things.
And I think I've never actually seen any footage of it either, so I'm actually super excited to see this. And it has a lot of that, as you say, Dark Souls vibe. It's definitely getting that kind of feel to it from what I can tell.
That's
but
what
I guess
for.
It looks a little bit, as you like, you say you're a big fan of Bloodborne. It looks like there's a bit more agility and fast movement into this one.
Well, I mean,
Dark Souls seems more like a game where turtling and shielding is more the thing, and this seems, from one battle that I've now seen, a bit more like, okay, you've got to dodge and move around and that kind of thing.
Well, let's get stuck into this guy immediately, straight off the bat, and back it up. So this is an abnormal. So yeah, the way that they get around, the difficulty, and there is a difficulty of touchscreen controls, of course there is by having a solid lock-on feature. You have to time things just right, get stuck in, and he's down. Lovely. So a lot of the same principles. Rest at the altar of sanity. We're not going to be doing a lot of sensible play here. We're going to be wandering through, running up to people, and just aggroing them for fun. Use elixir of sanity. Okie dokie. Let's have a little pop of that. A nice little swig. Ooh, lovely. Everything feels a bit better now. So this is just
the base game, is it? This is just the
very beginning. This is what you get when you fire up the game for the first time. This is what you can expect to see. I mean, the main thing is like, look at it. Look how nice it looks.
It looks so good.
Isn't that
I can't imagine that running on my crummy Android.
Well, this isn't even like top of the range iPhone. So I'm running it on an iPhone X at the minute, which is newish, but not the newest by any imagination. Now we're going to be introduced to some alters and that, but it does show you kind of what you can do with the technology now. And I think everyone felt the same thing that we all did, which was we're going to pick this up and this is going to be unplayable. Look, we're cynics. We all are. I know that people in the chat are probably right now saying the same thing, like, ugh, this is rubbish. But no, seriously, I get why people would be skeptical. But this has been near the top of the App Store for quite some time. And it's a paid game. This is not a free-to-play thing. This is a premium title that costs real money. Like, it's about, you can get it for about $3.99 now, but it's about £7-8 originally at launch. And people were very happy to pay that to get hold of this. And it's because it kind of worked. It played well. I'm going to skip over this cutscene, I think. Sorry. Chat is for later. I want to stick things in beasties.
Let's talk a bit about the DLC though, because obviously there's going to be some people here who've seen what Pascal's Wager has going for it and all that kind of thing. So, as you say, it's a bigger game area. I'm going to butcher the name of it now.
I want to hear you say this.
I always wanted to hear you say it, but then you started playing the normal game. Ichthyosauria?
Yeah, that's good. Yes, like the dinosaur, like the Ichthyosaurus.
Yeah. And this time around, so I believe that one of the things about Pascal Wager is that you play a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, that's right.
This time around, in the new version, in the new DLC, you'll be playing as Gerald, who has a new system of movement. Apparently, he's more agile than other characters that you'll regularly play as. So you need to sort of get used to that fighting style first before you can really dig in. But when you actually do get that, get the controls down, get the movement and stuff down, it's going to have some really showy, flashy, like they almost describe it as a dance kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot faster paced than what James is doing. Just slowly approaching. I mean, you're not dead, so
no,
you're doing
I'm not quite
well
dead
there.
yet. I'm just going to neck some potions because it's probably a good idea. But the thing that categorized these games, when I first started playing games like this, so like Souls games, or even like things like Neo and Neo 2 that came out for consoles, these games which are based around very deliberate combat. It's a very different experience from what people are used to. Oh, look, it's a crow chatting to me. Where people are maybe more accustomed to sort of mashing away at the buttons a little bit and not taking your time and considering your attacks and all that kind of thing. And so people play it and go, this game's rubbish. This feels slow and clunky and I hate it. Whereas the angle is, no, you need to play it in the way that it intends to be played.
Yeah.
It is asking something different from you than a lot of these games ask, I find. And as soon as I kind of got that, I was like, oh, I get it. I understand. I will not be... Actually, will I? Yeah. All right, have a throwing knife. I got a throwing knife for this little goblin dude. Might as well.
Might as well.
And that was the big clicking point for me, where it's like, right, so don't just charge in, lock onto enemies, wander around, choose your timing, don't just hit the button again and again and again. It all sounds like obvious stuff if you're sort of experienced in the genre, but the other part of these games was they didn't tell you very much. They didn't like give you any instruction. They just let you kind of go in blind and dodge. Ooh,
this looks to sort of avoid a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of tutorials kind of jumping up, and as you say, you're getting stopped for conversations and stuff. I think I would actually prefer that personally. Like, I like Dark Souls. I played a bit of Bloodborne. It's not super my sort of cup of tea. Because I'm very bad at games, and I don't have the patience like you do to incredibly slowly walk forwards and then charge all of a sudden.
Get out of it. See, this is the opposite of patience. This is just me just like laying into him immediately. Give me a shiny thing. Where's my shinies? Bone fragments. That'll do. It'll have to do. Oh, sounds like someone's nearby. Where's the next person? It's giving me the opportunity to lock on, which means that danger approaches. Oh, there it is. It's down there. I could go and pester him. I'm quite tempted.
Go on, have a go.
I want to grab the shiny thing first. Pages
Come
from
on, have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Look.
Is what he's saying to you.
Right, okay. You're trying to get me started. Let's see if I can get in here. Let's open this door.
I just heard that monster call you an idiot.
I heard he say you can't, which means I have to go and immediately do it. So I was like very pleasantly surprised when I first started playing it. What caught me off guard was everybody else jumping on board with it in the way that they did. And usually my advice for games when you're trying to port a console idea over onto mobile, right, is don't do a direct port. Don't just push it over, because these are different platforms. A touchscreen behaves differently. You're not going to be able to make these controls work the same way. It's going to feel awkward. So don't bother. Optimizing it is so tricky. And that's what I feared for this, when actually it turned out, they kind of made it work. So I do want to, can I bonfire this baby? Yeah. I'm going to mooch on over here. I might be reaching the end of the line here. Unable to enter. I've tried to escape the zone. I've got to go back and aggro some more people. I'm kind of up for it. I've got a couple of minutes. I might be able to. I just want to give everyone a quick guided tour.
So when you're, just to double check, so when you're playing, I can see you've got the virtual thumbstick on the left. Are you also rotating the camera with your right hand at the same time?
Yeah, right hand thumb is that, and then the 4 buttons. So you've got your kind of light attack, you've got your heavy attack here, you've got your dodge, the all-important dodge, bottom right, and then you do have the ability to hold up and block using your sword. As this character anyway. Other characters have other options as well, but you get to those later. And like I say, the first update that appeared expanded the game in a big bad way, but the next one, Tides of Oblivion, this is like, as I say, doubling the game world, which is impressive. And the nice thing about it is when a game proves to be really popular, when something really works out, it means that the developer can then spend the time and spend the money, and they can actually, work to make the game Can I just jump down? I can. That's just where I came from, isn't it? That's not going to help me out at all. I thought I was being very clever then, and I wasn't. It gives the developer the time to actually expand the game, make the lore more, offer people more of the thing that they are enjoying. Oh, hello. I've got a little subquest thing going on down here. Hello, who are you?
Stab them.
Don't, Rick. I think this is
one of
why
those games. You've got to kill everything. That's how it works, right?
Someone's saying this is Pascal. No. This is a nice person who wants help, and I'm not going to have the time to help them, which is a shame. But we can at least. Oh, hello, some chat. Have you come across some? What's going on here? That is the default question I ask most every day.
Oh, I do like dialogue options as well. Do they have much of an impact? You've played this game a bit further than what people are seeing.
I haven't been back through and chosen different options, so I'm not sure whether they have a huge impact. But they're there. They are there. Like I say, if you're just joining us, Pocket Gamer LaunchPad, we're all here. We're playing a bit of Pascal's Wager now because there's a new update appeared, but we are going to be covering a lot more in the next hour or so. So do stick around and make sure you add us. I'm going to ask you, what's going on here? Rick, let's find out what's going on here. She's going to tell us. It better be good. The light of Hedgem is fading. Well, that's good to know.
Cool, yeah.
I mean, I thought so.
Stab some stuff.
I assumed that was what the problem was, right? Okay, I just wanted to find that out, and now I can get out of here.
You walked into the room and you were just like, I see what your problem is. Your light of Hedgem's fading.
You want to get another Hedgem on that, mate? Yeah, that one's on the blink. You've got to sort it out. Leave. Thank you, lady. I appreciate your chatter, but I need to go and open this box. Boxes are important to me.
I need the loot.
I need the loot, the sweet loot. Here we go. So, if you want to get this game, this is currently available in its full form on the App Store right now. It's also recently appeared on Android. I think I'm right in saying that. I believe we covered it on the podcast, which is another thing you should listen to. We do the Pocket Gamer podcast, which is something that we do every single week. Myself, Rick, we've got Cameron, we've got Dan, who is the guy who actually came up with the idea for this whole Pocket Gamer thing. So this is all his fault, this LaunchPad stream. So we love him. We love you, Dan. You are the best. And so go, if you want to hear chatter from all of us, then we can go and fill you in every week on the latest, the newest, the most interesting stuff. We're going to put this to bed now. We're going to leave Pascal because I think I've run out of people to kill in the immediate area, and I feel bad just strolling around. But it was nice to see him. So the game is available. It's premium, and you can check out the new update as well if you want to once you download that game. It's going to be appearing very soon. I want to say I'm teasing myself now. Summer 2020, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to promise something I couldn't deliver on. So go and check it out if you are interested in that sort of thing. Now, let's have another little trailer, shall we? For all I know, you've already played this game, but if you haven't and you like classic 90s survival horror stuff, I think you can probably recognize from the video the kind of franchises that this game is emulating then. LifeAfter, that is the game you need to be playing. The next update, which is called Death High, is a race to the top of a zombie-filled tower. This is the thing that we've got. That trailer that you saw there, that's an exclusive little update trailer that we've been able to get our hands on. And this to me feels like a mixture of like your resi survival horror action combined with The Raid. Did you see The Raid?
I did see The Raid, and I know exactly what you're talking about because this is like it's a 160 level tower, I think, 160 floors, and you just kind of got to keep powering your way through all of them, killing zombies, just making sure you don't die. I think you can see there was like different options, so you can go off and save survivors, or you can find resources or stuff. So plenty of options there.
You're dealing with radiation. Radiation is a problem in this one, rather than it being spores or infected. This one is you got to deal with radiation levels. You got to repair damaged generators. You're dealing with special infected, and you got to rescue trapped survivors and all that business. But the idea is you stalking up and up and up and up and up and up this confined tower space, which in and of itself is a great hook for any story. Do you that thing with The Raid? I mentioned it because, like, sorry, I'm going to come back to this.
Bring it back to The Raid.
Well, no, because it happened at the same time as Dread came out. That Dread movie that was really good and underrated, and they're the same plot. They're the exact Rick. They're the same film. Look at me, Rick.
If you're just tuning in, this is now the Pocket Gamer LaunchPad film stream where we discuss exclusively The Raid and Dread.
Look, man. I said I don't like these things slick. I want to keep it loose.
Tell me more about mobile games.
All right, fine. So, Death High, that's the name of this update. Then what we would suggest you do, you need to be level 20 in crafting, gathering, and combat in order to even get into this tower at all. Apparently, it doesn't take too long to do that. So it's not like you're going to have to be grinding away for months and months to get to that level. It's fine, you can get involved. If you do manage to clear the tower, clear all these floors, you get power points, and they influence where you restart the tower from on the next day. And if you like, you do getting stuff in the store, then you get rescuer badges. These can be used in a store within the building where you can get lots of nice, lovely stuff as well. So we got a load of information on the rewards and things that you can get, which are cool. I'm not going to bore you.
Just want to jump in on that because one of the rewards is if you do really well, you get a statue erected in one of the game's locations of your character, which is just so cool.
I mean,
everyone can see my glory of killing zombies in my statue.
It's about time, Rick. I think I've been petitioning for this statue of. I mean, does it have to be this character? Can it just be me? Because I think I've been waiting for this day.
I think if they can put Johnny Cockhead on a statue, in LifeAfter. I think that would be the great thing. One other thing I think is worth mentioning as well is, as you were saying, like you have to be level 20 and a bunch of stuff to actually get access.
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying is that it's kind of it's for mid game players easing into the late game, and I think that's interesting in of itself because you think so much about like late game content and these kinds of things. It's nice that they're appealing to people who are on their journey. Still getting the way through the game, but maybe need a hand, getting some extra resources to help push through to the final chapters. Yeah, absolutely. I think it looks really interesting, and as you say, serious raid vibes. Cannot stress enough that film was great.
It was, and if you're interested in grabbing this game, it's currently available. It's Android, Google Play, or the App Store as well. The update should be live right now. If it's not, it'll be a couple of hours, but today is the day. Moving on. Big old multi-platform MMO V4 is what we're talking about next. So this is a game from Nexon. It is coming out this week. I wouldn't be surprised if it was even maybe out now, tomorrow, but very, very, very soon. And this is interesting for a number of reasons. Not just the fact that it's available on mobile, looks pretty, etc., etc. This is one of those things we're talking about cross-platform. This is going to be mobile and PC cross-platform, running on the same Unreal Engine 4 as the PC counterpart. PvE, PvP, PvPvE. It's too many consonants for me, right?
Too many P's.
Too many P's. Which is a place where you can fight against each other, and you're going to get encounters from other enemies as well, all piled into one. How much MMO stuff do you do? Did you get sucked into one near the beginning of the internet, or?
I've played a few like mobile MMOs for certain, because there's a good feel to them, and you can easily sort of lose. You start playing, you think, oh, I'll play for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you've finished like 30 quests, and you're still going, and you're just grinding through mobs. And it's like, oh my god, this is going to be me for the rest of my life now.
Pretty much.
But V4 looks really interesting. So I'm going to bring in some business expertise on this one. So this one's actually been out in South Korea for a few months already. And is doing hugely well. So it's not dropped out of the top 30 overall grossing charts on iOS for the last 3 months, which is enormous. Like that's a huge like successful thing.
It's a competitive marketplace for that stuff over there as well.
Exactly, yeah. So it's doing fantastically well, and then it's a good sign if it's keeping people like engaged enough to keep spending money. It means that it's keeping people engaged enough that you're going to get into it and go, okay, now I'm hooked. Never mind, this is the rest of my life now. I just play V4. But yeah, as you say, like it looked really lovely, running on Unreal Engine 4 on mobile. Nexon make big splashy MMOs quite a lot, and this one looks big and splashy and lovely, and
it is what they do. They're very much known for it, and I know there are some people who absolutely love them, and as with all things, there's some people who are like, this isn't my cup of tea, but they are like one of these things that draws a huge amount of players. And we're based in the UK, if you can't already tell, viewers, from my very very Englishy sounding accent. Games do they are controlled somewhat by the region in which they are created, and some games have a certain flavor, and some games appeal to certain audiences and not others. This is the way that it works. You can't just necessarily make a game in the UK for a Western audience and then just put it on the App Store in the East and have it just work. A lot of people get confused about how to do that. Our Pocket Gamer Connect conference, which is a thing that we do, and we're doing them digitally now, Pocket Gamer Connect's digital. The next one's coming up in September. Go and sign up. And this is something where we gather usually in a place, Helsinki, London, we've done China, we've done Jordan, we did Seattle, all over the place, but we've had to take them digital now, and they're still running. Go and get your tickets, they are cracking. We talk about this a lot, about how you make a game for a specific region, how to optimize it for that particular audience, and this is like Nexon have seemed to manage to do it where they get both. They manage to appeal to both sides of the camps, which is a kind of a neat trick. So interesting to hear it's doing incredibly well. I'm not super surprised by it. So if you've signed up for pre-registration for this, you get unique rewards if you get involved with V4. So you get a limited edition mount costume. You get 100,000 in gold, which may be a lot. I don't know. I haven't played it. That might be the equivalent of like a chocolate bar, or it might be the equivalent of a Bentley. I don't know. I haven't played it. But you get extra teleportation scrolls as well, and 200 bento chests. Bento, isn't it like a mint? Bento.
No, bento is like lunch boxes.
I'm thinking of Mentos. That's a very different thing. So if you want to get involved with this, V4 is going to be available both the App Store and Google Play and PC, and you can all play together in every region except for China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan for localization issues. But if you want to get involved, check out the App Stores, check out our article on PG, and we'll be able to hook you right up. Now, I know that there are a lot of people, Rick, in the chat who maybe have come here for a specific game, and I'm not going to be coy any longer. I'm just going to say, roll it. There it is, folks. You may have heard of a game called Vainglory, and you may have been waiting for their follow-up. So Super Evil Megacorp, the name right up there, just about there-ish. This is their follow-up. It's Catalyst Black. I'm going to let you go off on this a little bit, Rick, before we get to something special that I've already pre-recorded. But you were excited about this one, weren't you?
Yes, I was a big Vainglory person. You may remember that we once hung out at the Vainglory Championships. I can't remember which one, but I did some hosting. And you did some filming, and it was a wonderful start to our friendship. But yeah, so I played a lot of Vainglory back in the day, and you know, Super Evil Megacorp know how to make a fun, frantic, in-depth mobile game that plays really well, that looks really good using their evil engine and all that kind of jazz. Catalyst Black looks like it's kind of taking that but bringing it into more of a hero shooter game almost. So it's so Catalyst Black looks like it plays a lot like Vainglory, except this time you've got guns, which only a few characters in Vainglory had. And so it'll be people running around shooting each other. You get experience, all this kind of stuff. And then you can like transform into a giant ethereal beast.
This is where it gets interesting.
Massive damage.
So masks. There's this mask component, which we'll talk about in a little bit,
so that looks super cool. Some other stuff that I'm super interested in is the whole drop in, drop out kind of mechanics. So you're not like sat in matchmaking waiting for a game. You just press and you jump into a game, and then you start shooting, and then you can just drop out whenever you like. I've also been reading up about how their progression works, and it sounds like, you know, you get your kills, you get your experience, you're still gathering all that gear. You know, so it's interesting that that's the level of like, you can commit as much or as little time as you want to this game. If you literally just want to jump in for 5 minutes, you can just jump in for 5 minutes, and there's no penalty for that. That sounds super cool. I also read as well that they are super like because there's elements that you can get in the game. You can unlock new things that give you like extra abilities and like powerful gear and that kind of thing. All of that will only be available in game using in-game like currency that you can't buy with real money.
That's right. Then it's not a case of they're trying to avoid, as most games try and say like, we're not pay to win. Like you hear that a lot, and then you play it and go, really? Because but that's something that there is.
Yeah, this is going to be customization only. Is what they're sort of going for with their purchases, and as well as that, like anything, I think they were saying something like they wanted to make sure that those items are exclusive. So it's going to be the case that, and forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, I just sort of read this, that if it's purchasable in the store, then you won't be able to earn it in game. To have that level of exclusivity, which I think is a really clever way of going about things as well. It's like,
well, I was lucky enough to go and have a conversation with one of the creators of the game, the creative director, I believe, of Super Evil Megacorp. Because we're in different time zones, we had a chat earlier, and they're going to go into a lot more detail than we can. That's enough out of you. That's our first little thing. That's the doorbell. So that's clearly my sign to get out of here. But let me leave you with the creators of Catalyst Black. So I am lucky enough to be joined by Q Wang, who is the game director over at Super Evil Megacorp. We've just seen the trailer for Catalyst Black. What is this game all about?
Yeah, so Catalyst Black is a PvE/VP battleground shooter. So we're trying something new, something that doesn't squarely fit into an existing genre like MOBA, for example. You'll be fighting in 20-person PvE/VP battles, trying out tons of different weapons and abilities. And the main thing is you can transform into a god and briefly wreck your enemies. It's also got a variety of game modes. So instead of focusing on a single monolithic game mode, you'll have a variety of ways to play, sometimes very familiar ones, such as Capture the Flag from old school shooters. And then some other game modes would be newer ideas that are very focused on mixing PvE and PvP at the same time.
So this is a mobile-only game, right? So it's mobile first, and it can be very tricky to get the controls for these kind of games to feel right when you're using touchscreens and virtual joysticks and that sort of thing. How do you get this feeling right on a mobile device? Yeah,
it's definitely hard. We've spent a lot of time and learned a lot of lessons about building control schemes for mobile games, starting all the way back from Vainglory, our previous game. And at the start of it, I think is the raw ingredient of good controls is just performance. And that's where a big part of controlling our own engine comes in. The biggest part of it oftentimes is that your design is correct, but you just need to get those milliseconds out. Just shave it off a little bit at a time. We also spent a lot of time honing both tap controls during Vainglory, but also joystick controls. And we're very happy with where it is today. Catalyst Black is actually going to be a game where someone playing in our playtest today, we've got people playing on their phones using touchscreen joysticks, on-screen joysticks. And then we have other players mixed in there playing with their Xbox PS4 controller, just Bluetooth into their device. And then we got some other players playing on keyboard and mouse, and all of them are mixed into the same combat situation, and they're able to pose, meaningfully and credible challenges to each other.
Well, cross-platform is becoming so much more important now, especially with these huge multiplayer games. But this is a game where you determine your play style by your equipment, right? You don't choose character classes or anything like that.
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of games are class or character-based, but this game is going to be very much focused on customizing your own loadout and playstyle. We wanted to greatly expand the range of options and the amount of customization that you can do, especially in a PvP game. So you can play as a long-range sniper, you can be an all-in sort of close-range assassin, or you can focus on healing your team. All of these things are possible if you put together the right build. We actually wrote a whole long blog post on the Catalyst Black website about this topic if you really, really want to go deep. But one major design philosophy we have is that we want people to be able to just nerd out on this part of the game. That's kind of where we all come from. Just be really get really engrossed into how the things work together, what pieces work better, maybe trade that piece for a slightly different version of it. It works better in this situation. We want people to just be complete nerds about this.
Well, I've taken a look at the trailer, of course, and I've been watching some of the gameplay as well. I get the weapons and I get the abilities that are in play here. What's the deal with the masks?
Yeah, so the mask is the most powerful part of your loadout. It determines the primal god that you transform into, and that's a temporary transformation. It takes you quite a bit of time of dealing damage, getting kills to charge up enough energy to go into your mask, and then you can transform into, at launch, 4 different types of gods. We really love characters. We really love concepts like supers and ultimates from other games. And for me, I love the idea of a power spike different degrees of power spikes. So whether it's your primary weapon going into your heavy weapon, which costs more ammo, or using your ability, which is on a long cooldown. And of course, there's still quite a bit of counterplay. Every god has their weakness. And being that this is actually a pretty large game in terms of number of players that you'll encounter, you could still end up, biting off more than you can chew, charging into too many other people at the same time. And finally, when you do put on the mask, by the way, it is a little bit more class-based now. So every time you transform into a god, that character has a very specific kit and very specific play style and strengths and weaknesses. We've got glass cannons. You can obviously tell which ones those are. We've got more of a bruiser or tanks that can really just sit there and capture a zone in our more King of the Hill-like game modes.
Well, you talk about encountering lots of other players online. It is a multiplayer game, but you've opted not to punish people for leaving. This is a drop-in, drop-out game system, right? Which not all games employ. Why was that the right choice for this one?
In our experience with making Vainglory, having to wait a really long time to get into a match, whether it's for matchmaking or waiting for your friends to finish making their coffee or eating their lunch or whatever, just to be able to join you in the party. There's just a lot of waiting today in multiplayer games. But if you look just a little bit further back in history, all early first-person shooter games, they were just these open lobbies. The servers were also lobbies where people can join and leave in the middle of the match. And the server would try to balance out the teams. And it was very, very convenient, and it was really fun back then. So we're trying to make sort of the old is new again when it comes to drop in, drop out. We would give players the ability to, for example, go to your friends list, see that your friend is currently in this type of match, this game mode, and just press one button and you've dropped in. You can drop in the middle of the match. Coordination is such a tedious, friend coordination is such a tedious part of multiplayer. In our own playtest too, it is so great to have sort of these flowing staggered playtests where one group of people come in, some of them drop out, and then some other people come in and replace them. And next thing you know, it's like after about an hour, it's a different group of people, but you never noticed a hard shift in sort of rescheduling, regrouping, recorralling people into new parties. It's very, very smooth. So it's worked out super well internally, and we're super excited to see how that works out.
When can we expect to see Catalyst Black out in the wild?
So we're going to release Catalyst Black when it's ready, sometime later this year. Meanwhile, we have just announced our Secret Service Early Access Program for August 12th. And anyone who wants to play the game sooner, wants to give their feedback and help us share the game, please head over to our Discord, discord.gg/catalystblack, or just look on our website, catalystblack.com, for instructions on how to get involved in the Secret Service. So just can't wait to see you guys and get your feedback and play with you guys.
There we go. There it is. Been sitting on that for a little while, and now we can just all collectively breathe a sigh of relief, and then we can suck that air immediately back in and get extremely hype. You were excited beforehand. Rick hasn't seen this, by the way. So did that answer any of your questions, Rick? Chat, did you like what you see? Is that the kind of thing you were looking for?
Literally, I ran off to change my t-shirt. I'm sure it was great. I'm sure everyone had a great time.
Well, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to go over to YouTube when this is going to be uploaded. The entire stream, as well as all our other streams, are going to be uploaded over to the Pocket Gamer YouTube channel as well. So if you've missed anything that's happened before, you can catch up here on Twitch or head on over to Pocket Gamer and have a look. But I think Hugh said it better than any of us could. I know that everybody's been excited about it. People are going crazy over there, and they want to make this game a success. They want to help Vainglory as well. Vainglory was such a big deal at the time, and this is a really interesting notion, I think. It is a bizarre kind of hybrid of genres, isn't it? It does seem to be that mixture of, like, it's a bit heroish, it's got the top-down thing going on, the drop-in, drop-out is exciting. All that stuff sounds really good to me. And my hope is, and based on what they did with Vainglory, I reckon they're going to get the controls right. That's my concern with all these things, but they got Vainglory right in a big bad way. So I would be shocked if this wasn't extremely fun. But
it'll definitely be fun. Literally, there is no question in my mind. It's going to be a very fun, very silly, very fast-paced game.
You were sold before you saw the trailer, though, weren't you?
I was sold before I saw the trailer. I heard Super Evil Megacorp were working on a game, and I went, yes.
You were already on board. Well, that's good to hear. So, like the man said, you can head on over there to their Discord if you want any additional information. If you want to find out what those links are again, then head over to the article that's over on pocketgamer.com, and it'll give you all the links and information you need to get involved early on. We may be talking about this game tomorrow, and possibly the day after as well. There's a chance we might be able to get you in on the ground floor, so to speak. I don't want to be too vague, but maybe tune in tomorrow and the day after, and we'll see what we can do. But I hope that lived up to everyone's expectations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do there. We're going to take a massive left turn now. You saw that colour, you saw that carnage, you saw the big guns, you saw the monsters. Let's go monochrome. What just happened?
What?
So, if your reaction...
Please try and make sense of it all, James.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. That was Chaotic Era. Okay. Now, it is a, let's say... I don't know how to describe this. It feels like it's some odd art project. It looks like this kind of bizarre, weird, creepy David Lynchian thing. What it actually is a real-time strategy game that encompasses the entire universe.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting sell.
From what I've read, it's like, so it's a space-based RTS where you're not actually fighting conventional enemies, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of just on sort of a resource gathering mission. And you have this thing where you're sort of, looking through the universe to find new places to send all your units and then start gathering resources and then building up a hometown. The developers themselves have said it's like SimCity meets StarCraft, basically. But with this, like, really bizarre aesthetic that feels like it's like from a heads up a display thing in Alien or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like a computer console from like the 1980s, and they've gone with that like vector line art style, which I like. I have older brothers who are a lot older than me, and so there was at one point in my life a ZX Spectrum in the house. Google it, kids. ZX Spectrum. You use a tape. You load it up with a tape. I should probably explain what cassettes are. But it seems to be embracing that art style, but it's doing a lot underneath it. So the way that it works is like an expansionist empire simulation. You pick out planets from the sky using like a lens system. You then send ships on ahead, and then you try and repurpose the surface of these planets for like production-based growth. You're growing things on it, and there aren't any like standard enemies. You're not like fighting against other spaceships as a rule. They're called incidents in the game. So when bad things happen, and then you wind up basically having your resources drained and stuff like that. But like, you wouldn't know it from looking at that trailer. It's so oblique and like, okay.
I love that trailer. I think that's one of my favorite trailers I've seen in a long time. Just that whole, you have no idea what that game is going to be until you go and read it. But it's one of those things where you look at that and go, wow, what just happened? Now I need to find out more. Or at least that's how I felt. Like, it's just super weird.
Spooky.
But I love it. Yeah, it has that. Yeah, it looks scary. Look, like really terrifying.
I'm a horror game guy, by the way, folks. If maybe some people have seen us on the shows and the podcast, and they know us for a few years. I'm survival horror. That's my jam. That's what I like. And this immediately flicked my switch because I was like, ooh, I'm getting spooky vibes, and I want to.
What a horrifying phrase! Please never say that again, James.
I've clearly found your switch, Rick. I think we should leave it there. It's getting weird. Chaotic Era. They're targeting a 2020 release date on iOS. We will be keeping you updated as to when the game appears over on PocketGamer.com. Do go and check it out, of course. You are watching, if you are still around, Pocket Gamer LaunchPad, the first of 3 shows we are doing over the next few days, brought to you by the lovely people above me here with PUBG Mobile, Bandai Namco, Gameloft, One Punch Man, Super Evil, Megacore. All these folks have helped to make this possible. Thank you for coming in, spending a little bit of time with us. We are heading towards the end of the show now. Make sure you go and do the things they do online. Ring the bell, hit the like, do a subscribe, all that stuff that you hear people say all the time and then you never really do it. Do it.
Do the online things.
Yes, all of them at once. Or no more trailers for you. So we're going to move on to something that is like actually a little bit close to us. So part of our Pocket Gamer Connect shows that we do, again, go and grab tickets for that. We do this thing called the Big Indie Pitch. We work with indie developers. We get them to come in and they show us their games. It's the kind of biggest indie gaming kind of competition thing. It's almost a bit like speed dating, where they come in, they show us their games, and we've been doing this for years. And it's an enormous thing that we've really grown from like nothing to this huge big kind of almost industry thing that's going on. So Sophia Drake is the person who looks after it all. She's fantastic and she's been doing it for years. And so we get to see a lot of games that maybe some of them don't even make it to market. Some of them turn out to be the next big thing. We didn't even know it at the time. But it gives us access to stuff we wouldn't otherwise get to see. And so we want to share that with you. So with that in mind, let's have a look at this. The Bonfire 2 Uncharted Shores there. Now, I wasn't at the competition where this happened, but this was one of our pictures, wasn't it, Rick? Am I right in thinking?
Yes. This was the winner of the Pocket Game Connect's Digital 2 Big Indie Pitch, which is one of the more recent ones. I think we've had another one since then. We started doing them monthly. But yes, this came away with the top prize, top banana. And I think you are loading it up on your phone now. So
I'm playing it at this very moment, Rick.
We're going to see a glimpse of why exactly it won. So, as the name implies, it is a sequel to The Bonfire, which I honestly didn't play, but I believe it's like a resource management kind of game, your city building and that kind of thing. But that was on a 2D plane. This one is, as you can see, more isometric 3D. And it's kind of mixing the 3D and the 2D, so it's got a minimalist flat art style, according to the developers. And yeah, they're kind of combining strategy, city building, and survival. into its own distinct game, and you have to manage individual worker units with varied attributes while also sort of building up a whole town for yourself, as James is doing. I see. Are those your workers? They look
Those are
like
my little
chickens.
workers running around.
From this distance, it kind of looks like little chickens running around.
I know, right?
It.
So I went in right at the beginning of this one just to make sure it was all up and running. But I wanted to show you right from the top. So here you go. Basically what happened is we rocked up on a boat. We were it looked like we were a bit shipwrecked or something, but we were going to start our colony. So the idea here is to start building little buildings, objects. I had to kick a bonfire up to begin with to make sure that everybody had some warmth. You assign people to do it. The moment you hit to construct something, the moment you hit build, they start scurrying around. All our little worker folks start running all over the place and start making it of their own accord. They gather wood. You can see them actually working on the trees right now. So this lassie over here, she's chopping trees to help make our thing. And I have to now, we've got a bonfire here. It beckons lost souls. And we need to assign a guard. I'm going to assign Rota to the bonfire. I don't know if she's going to sit there and just be like, or whether she's trying to stop it going. I'm not sure. Mayek says it's time to sleep. Okay, we're gonna deal with Mayek. So I have played a couple of these style of games, but these aren't generally the things that I immediately reach for when I'm sort of, pause or destroy. Don't give me a destroy button game. I can't be trusted. Destroy. I cannot be trusted with destroy buttons. Let's have a look and see what the notifications are. We can hunt for food, need more huts. Need more huts. Right, okay, let's talk about more huts. You, build huts. I think perhaps I've already started to build one, and now they're all going to head to bed. Because overworked them.
It's getting dark, so...
No, wait, Rick, violence is happening. Terrible violence.
Oh, no.
What's going on?
I can't tell.
They killed a thing.
Oh no!
We successfully survived a monster attack. Yes,
Hooray.
I knew you could do it, Rata. You're a hero. What a legend! I hope you people will sing songs about you in years to come. What a hero!
He's definitely going to die by the end of this gameplay footage.
Do you think I just
you're gonna get him super killed?
The ultimate kiss of death there.
So yeah, it looks like it's interesting. So you've got like your little humans running about, but I guess they're shouting out at you as they're going about their business, letting you know like what's going on in their lives. Like, that's right. I killed a monster, or I'm knocking down a tree. Yeah.
Now, this is a kind of day-by-day thing, so there's a day-night cycle, as you can already see it happening. I can, and I will for the benefit of this, speed things up. So I can get us over to a new daytime, hopefully, because nighttime, they all seem to be a little bit freaked out. And then they're not up for working. And you know what? I get it. I understand. I don't like working night shifts. Nobody likes that. But I like what we've done art style wise. So I can almost tell that you say the first game was like on a 2D plane and then it shifted to 3D.
Yeah.
This is like proper isometric, like real old fashioned kind of Fallout 2 era, proper isometric stuff, which is kind of nice and neat. I also like the cute little rustic style. I think that's really nice. I might remove Rata from the bonfire. I think that might be an idea, because I want to get him to work. Hunters can hunt for food. Okay.
Rata guard the bonfire. He was so good at it. He killed that monster.
He did. Oh, Muta is a hunter. She's level 5, and she's loyal. She never becomes a thief. We survived the night!
Hey!
So many of these games post Minecraft, you just have to survive for long enough. Because things get tense. Oh, it's brightened up, thank God. I was getting a bit weirded out. They're pillaging from the corpse. I think it's a deer. It might yeah, look. It's a little 3D like antelope or something. And they're gathering it, and they're making...
not a monster then.
No. I think we jumped the gun there a little bit. But we should say at the minute that this is a game that's in pre-release at the moment. This is an alpha thing that we are currently testing. This isn't the final launch version of the game. But we, like I said, because it's part of the indie pitch thing, we get access to some of these builds earlier, which is a real nice perk of it all. And we've seen some real big things come up, which it's still constructing. I'll leave them to it. Some real big things appear, which kind of went on to become the next. And some stuff you never see again, because that's the nature of indie development. We've just been dealing with, Catalyst Black over there and Vainglory and these huge games that became super popular and have an entire tournament based around them. And then we go all the way over here and we're talking very small indie studios, a few people, not huge budgets. But they're both fascinating in different ways. They're both really interesting. And the reason indie is interesting for mobile is precisely because, like with the PC indie scene, like you don't necessarily have to spend loads of money to get a game up. And you can, if you are a one-man team, this gives you the opportunity to make games without having to have like an Unreal license or some kind of, really expensive tools and really high power PCs. If you just want to make games, if you want to be creative, mobile is a really good avenue to get in and learn your craft, get something up and running kind of quick. And that's what we see over there at the Big Indie Pitch. She seems to be chatting to a tree, this woman.
You got a little house now.
I do. I've got 2 houses. This has finally been built. Excellent work. Is this... Yeah, I can add a logger to it. Right. Asaf's gathering wood. So Asaf's going to live in that house over there now. And then this is still under construction. Housing for 2, apparently. We need some more wood. So they're going to charge backwards and forwards. So it seems to be this thing where you can leave them to it while they do their thing and have it run in the background. Or you can speed stuff up and get really aggro. So now, a fishing dock. Right, that's just appeared. Now, I'm guessing a fishing dock... Oh, it comes with water. It's got water baked in. It's got a lake in it. I was going to move it next to the sea, but no. Get it done. I want a lake. I wish I could do that with my back garden. Just dump a lake in the middle of it. That's genius. Let's get involved. And by the way, if you guys are tuning in, we are currently playing the Bonfire 2, and this is the Pocket Gamer stream. This is LaunchPad, a show that we have just debuted. You're watching it. This is the first episode, and we're doing it for the next 3 days over here on Twitch. We're supported by a lot of lovely people, the names of which you can see above us. And oh god, I left it on fast forward, and now it's nighttime.
It's nighttime.
And this man is stalking sinisterly around with a torch. I think he's one of mine.
Your guard?
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay.
It's all good. He's just collecting stuff. I mean, obviously, you're at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
There's much more to it than this, I believe. So you can eventually grow your town into something more like a city. Start managing your resource chains a bit more. I'm not entirely sure how that comes about, but yeah, you can, as you've seen with James playing, you can manage your workers individually. Everybody has their own stats and stuff, and as much as it's I've got 8 people living here, they're all 8 people with different stats, different personalities. So you have to play around and make sure that they're gonna keep contributing and everything like that. There will be much bigger, a procedurally generated world maps, according to my notes. So it's going to be spread out way beyond where you currently are, and you'll be able to trade and go around on ships and all this kind of thing. And there'll also be dungeons that you can explore.
Oh, really?
So there's whole different elements to this that obviously we're not going to get around to at this point.
This is just a flavor. It's just a taste.
It's just a taste of what is to come. But this, the very beginning of it looks, like a quiet little city, town village builder almost.
A lot of the stuff that works quite well on mobile, as well as that lifestyle sedate stuff where you check in with it every now and then and be like, how are my villagers doing? And you go, and when all the world is in chaos, you can kind of just look in and go, And I think that's why Animal Crossing became such an explosion. I mean, it's always been popular, but my God, did it take off, that newest version? Because people just want to escape to a lovely world where they can argue with a raccoon and they can do a bit of fishing and they can just hang out in a place that is chill. This looks a bit more involved because I keep getting attacked by
does
boars.
Not look like does not look like something that you could just sort of sedately go and check it. Oh, how are my villagers doing? Oh no, they've been mauled to death by a deer. Oh, what a shame. Start over.
Listen. I showed that deer who was boss, first of all. Secondly, a boar has turned up and we've knifed that as well. It turns out that for the sake of the stream, playing this on fast forward, this is the way to do it. Things are really kicking off on the old town. We're nearly halfway through construction of another housing for 2. We've got a new person who's joined the camp. Someone came in and said, we'll work for food. Oh, hang on. Stop going fast forward. Azav, please, don't hurt me. We're being attacked by... What is that? It looks like is it a wolf? I think Asaf's just got eaten. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, Asaf.
No.
I never got to tell you that I loved you. Rata, the guard. Oh, come on. Yes, Rata did it. He did it good.
Absolute king.
The women and children have returned. Mayak the hunter, he's back. Oof. We successfully survived a monster attack. One of us didn't. I'm pretty sure one of us just got murked there. Yikes. This just got a lot more involved than I expected.
You were going on about, it's a sedentary little life simulator, and all of a sudden, death.
All right, I may have jumped to conclusions. All right, but it's nice when things can surprise you, isn't it? Isn't that
I told
good?
you, you're going to go out and explore dungeons. Some of the stuff that they've said. You're going to build a powerful city and gain magical artifacts to defeat an ancient evil.
What?
Yeah, this game's going to go places, dude. There is more to it than just build up your little village and have a nice life.
Yikes. I forget to be a mage, then I'm really in. I'm all about the magic, me. if I ever do RPG stuff, I'm default. I always go for Magi. That's my. What's your go-to like RPG character? If you build a character, do you go rogue, warrior, thief? Like, what's your chosen
Bard.
class? You're
Literally
bard
every time. Yeah.
So you get your loot out, and
I'm gonna confess some stuff here now.
Come on.
Like I've been playing a lot of D&D lately with a group, and I play as a bard in that, and I bring along various musical instruments and just try them out to annoy people. So I have a violin that I can't play.
Wait
I
a
have
minute.
a ukulele.
IRL. You bring over
Yeah,
the
no, IRL. Like I just bust out my violin, make some scratchy noises, and then the DM gives me advantage on the next roll.
Oh my god. That's a bold move, Rick. You must have loving friends.
I have friends who are not really my friends.
Not anymore, they're not. Right. What have we got
Let's talk about this mobile game.
So I'm adding Astra to this new thing. This is actually picking up pace a lot quicker than I thought. So this hut is housing for 2. I'm bringing... Ratter looks a bit knackered. He's sleeping by a bonfire. Come and get into the hut, Ratter. You were an absolute hero slaying those beasties. Come and get involved. Pull up a pew. Chill out. God. Now the rain's kicking up. So we've got a lot of dynamic stuff going on here. So dynamic weather conditions, you've got the day-night cycle going on. We keep randomly getting attacked by other things. And look at the color palette change. I love the glow off the bonfire.
Oh, yeah, I do love the art on this.
That's nice.
As you say, that sort of flat style, but there's a lot of, obviously you have to make up for it somewhere else. So there's a lot of texture work, a lot of colors and that kind of thing that I'm really digging. So yeah, just some more stuff that I wanted to mention. So we on PocketGamer.biz, Sophia interviewed the developers of the Bonfire 2 for some more information. So this has been built taking on board feedback from the original The Bonfire, where players they really liked the mix of strategy and survival, but felt it was a bit too short and linear. This one's going to be way more open, and as you say, like your experience, dynamic weather, dynamic. Like things like that, night and day cycles, more dynamic gameplay was definitely something they were interested in doing. Interestingly as well, though, because Dan's been writing all these articles up, and if you haven't already, do check out PocketGamer.com for write-ups on all the games that you're going to see here, the trailers that you've seen, more information in case we miss anything. Dan has had a quick go on this as well, I believe, and he reckons that it holds on to a lot of the feeling of the old game. So it still feels like the original Bonfire, but obviously it's had this huge visual overhaul. It's having these systems added to it. There's a lot more going on with it, but it still retains, if you liked the first game, you're probably still going to like this second game, even though it looks like a huge change.
Whoa. Okay, more boars have appeared. A nice thing I'm seeing is lots of people are being drawn to it. So we've got Semi here. The priestesses of Stygia have banished me from my home. Can I have some animal skins to keep warm? I'm going to say yes. Get involved. We've had a lot of people wandering in from the woods and asking to join our colony. So this is how the colony is building, not just ourselves. We're not procreating on the fly. We're attracting folks from the woods. I don't know, like there must be a very small encampment because there's only a couple of tree lines and then there's a big bit of rock. So maybe there's a hole in the rock. Maybe there's a cave. Who knows? But the colony's growing surprisingly quickly. Is this the problem with these things?
How many people have you got now? I can barely see your screen because I'm watching this on my tiny phone.
You've also got a tiny phone, aren't you? Well, I've got quite a few now. The thing is, right, with these games, I can look at them and kind of go, yeah, it's a building thing, and it's not my cup of tea. And then someone's like, just try it, just give it a go. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll give it a go. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, the boar's attacking! I've got an extra cabin! This is incredible! Like, you get sucked in so quickly.
You've been playing this now for about 15 minutes. I don't know if you've realised that yet, because...
Look, it's my stream, I can do what I like. So, no, we will pop this on the back burner just for a moment or two. But the Bonfire 2 Uncharted Shores is the full name of this one. If you want to go and give it a look, go and check out the article. We're going to be covering more information. Oh, my camp's getting sieged while I'm talking to you, Rick. Curse you! You can find out more information over on PocketGamer.com, like Rick said. But yeah, we should probably. I'm gonna force it off. There we go. They're all dying now, Rick, and it's all on you.
This is not my fault. This is your fault for bad management.
Look. How dare you? Let's look at another game then. Let's keep you happy. Games. Here we go. So, battle chess games, they've been quite vogue recently, haven't they? We've seen a bunch of these chess modes that existed in other games being turned into complete games, and it's become a bit of a zeitgeist. Auto battle chess, in fact. This game, Auto Battle Chess, is an auto chess battler. So they've gone right in there for the SEO, I think. That's what's happened here. They are not beating around the bush at all. But if you are interested in having a look at this is kind of a fusion of elements from like RPG strategy, turn-based strategy, got a bit of MOBA, yes, obviously a bit of auto chess, but they're flagging up idle RPGs, CCGs as well, MMOs, and other acronyms that I'm not going to say.
I read the full thing because I have it written in front of me and I'm very excited to try this.
Oh, really? Okay, so this is currently available on... You can get it on Android at the minute. It's not currently available on iOS, but the Android version, I think, is like a pre-release rather than the official full thing. So you could technically get to grips with this right now if you have an Android device and you're in the right place. But yes. This is your kind of thing, is it, Rick?
No, I just really wanted to say all the genres.
Nuts. Okay.
This is RPG, strategy, turn-based strategy, MOBA, auto chess, idle RPG, CCG, MMO, and AFK.
I think that's just
all thrown into one.
That's just away from keyboard. I think that might have been. They put that in there for a joke. But what's really about
that was to trip me up as a stupid games journalist who knows nothing about video games.
Oh,
you
man.
Win this round, auto battle chess.
And
the war
other.
Is not over.
So 100 characters. You get stacks of hero combinations. You get crafting, enhancement options to make your team kind of unique. The idea is this is based around 5-minute PvP battles. So once again, we're talking about that mobile loop, that idea of short bursts of gameplay. We mentioned it with PUBG and the Livik map being all small. That's the idea behind this. So keep it short, keep it sharp. That's what's kept so many games popular. That's what made Clash Royale such a huge thing when it originally came out. The idea that you can go bosh, 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 and smash your way through it kind of quickly. This game will have other modes as well. So you wind up with a Battle Royale mode. There's a Guild Wars and a campaign as well. So I'm wondering if they're going to do actual story with these guys. A story-based chess card. I'm not going to say the rest of the genres, but I find that interesting. We've actually had a go with this one. So Dan, once again, we talked about Dan. He's written all the articles for this, and you can read a lot more of what he does over there. He's the editor of PocketGamer.com. He's played it. He says that the most understated element is that there's hero merging that goes on during the prep for each match. You can combine lower level characters to kind of bump the power of the hero in the next round, which is actually something that works well. Which isn't necessarily how it always... I get a bit sick and tired sometimes of the games which have like, you just have numerous cards and the idea is that these are all level 3, these are all level 50, and you have to keep combining, and it just it feels a bit like busy work sometimes, you know what I mean? Like padding, and I'm like, do we have to do this again?
This one looks a lot more chaotic though, so it's going to be more on the fly, kind of like just splicing them together to make more powerful heroes and that kind of thing, which I guess that's going to be more fun than whatever you were describing.
Whatever awful thing I was saying. Yeah. So you get your total strength displayed at the top near the opponents, which gives you a target. So you need to try and match your strength to theirs when you're, building your army to set it out. And then it just ensures that there's a strategic element to this rather than a kind of potluck sort of thing. Now it's going to be available to download for free when it appears on iOS and Android. August is the month. We haven't got a specific date yet. As soon as we do, we will obviously get you involved and inform you. But if you head on over to Android now, just saying, you might be able to find something about it. So, we are nearing the end of this thing. We've got another game to talk about, and we want to say that we, firstly, are delighted to have had so many people watching us. This was just a fun. It's flown by. Nearly 2 hours now. But this is not the end. Oh no. We are going to be back again tomorrow at the exact same time, Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, and I believe that's 9 a.m. Pacific time if you're over there on the West Coast. And again on Saturday at the exact same time. Like today, we are going to have more new trailers, new releases, new previews. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to be showing stuff that's genuinely never been seen before. And we are going to be shouting at you the whole time to come back and join us over on the main site, over on PocketGamer.com, and over on our YouTube channel. We do reviews, we do previews, we do everything. We are, I don't like saying it because it sounds gauche, but Pocket Gamer is like, the biggest mobile site in the world, which sounds like, oh yeah. But technically,
it legitimately is.
Technically, it is, and that's not happened. That's not like an "aren't we great" thing. That's just we've been around for a very long time. We've been like since the beginning of Java, like I said at the beginning. We were covering this stuff when it was just Snake. So we've seen it evolve. We've had people in the industry for well over a decade dealing exclusively with mobile stuff. So if you do want to know what looks interesting coming up, what's on the horizon, then go and check it out. And then there's also PocketGamer.biz, which is what Rick here edits. That's his site. So that covers, if you're a stats person, if you're really into the numbers of it all, if you want to find out exactly who sold what, how much it sold, in which areas, and all that kind of thing, the real crunch, then that's what that's all about. Tell me, what was a news story that you did this week that was crunchy and numbery, Rick? What was the last big stat you can think of?
Digital games generated $10.84 billion in July 2020.
You see?
That was one from today.
That's off the top of the dome, man. He is just spitting fire like that, and that's what you can get day in, day out over there at PocketGamer.biz. So go and check that out. As for us, the LaunchPad site, we are going to be back here again in the same time tomorrow, but we're not quite finished.
We're not done,
here.
James.
We're not done. We're not done. We're going to be letting you into another little exclusive look at something that maybe you've seen before, but not in this way.
Those days, Will used to have a melancholic gaze. Attending customers during the day and working the dungeons during the night was not an easy life. The day he got that old sword, everything changed. He remembered. As a kid, there were dreams of adventures, monsters, and mysteries to be solved. But as a family of shopkeepers, duty came first. Time passed, and duty kept coming first, year after year. Until that day when he decided that something was going to change. Maybe there's something we can all learn from Will.
Moonlighter, a game maybe that you folks are familiar with already, but you will be delighted to know if you are a mobile person that, bam, it's coming to mobile. We're getting a lovely touchscreen based port of this game, which I currently have a beta version of, and you are watching me play at this very moment. Now,
Absolute show off.
Well, you know, I've got a flex now and then. It's not a huge flex, but I'll take it, because this is a game I haven't played and kind of wanted to, and this is a game you have played a bit of, haven't you, Rick? So
yes.
What is this all about?
So it's a weird sort of mixture of dungeon crawlery, roguelitey kind of combat, where you are going into dungeons, you're fighting off enemies, trying not to die. If you die, you basically lose everything. I believe there's like time limits and stuff to some of these dungeons as well. And while you're there, you're picking up inventory stuff to fill your inventory basically, and then there's a bit of like inventory management as well. So some of the items that you pick up, they'll have like curses, and if you put them in the wrong place, they'll break other items, or they will start causing negative effects on you when you get them. Eventually, once you well done by the way on those rolls.
Thank you. I was just going to say.
Once you get to a point where you feel,
Oh,
okay,
God.
I've got enough stuff, or I need to get out of here before I die, as James is probably going to do shortly.
How dare you?
Then at that point you go home and you are actually the owner of an item shop, and it's up to you to use the items that you have collected to sell to people, so that they will then give you money, and then you can, like, I'm fairly certain you have to pay rent at some point, otherwise you lose. I'm not 100% on that one. It's been a while since I played it, but that feels like something that was relevant.
These
like
in-game
earning a certain amount
economics,
of money.
man. That makes me furious. So,
but then there's also sort of like, you've got to set up your shop, you've got to set your prices, you've got to set, you learn from people buying stuff, like what their preferences are, because it's a small village that you're giving access all your stuff to. Hella rolls though.
I'm enjoying
James,
the rolls.
absolutely
So
smashing it.
the reason this is interesting, right, is because clearly this was a game. Was it originally Switch or PC? What was the
So it
platform?
was originally PC, Xbox, PS4, came to Switch a few months later, and that was in November 2018, I think. So it's now about 2 years out since its console releases, and now it's coming to mobile. And I believe, so it looks to me that you're tapping to move, but I don't know.
So this is the way the game's dealt with the control system. So the way that you do it is a tap to move system. That's what they've gone for with this mobile port. So I am tapping around where you can see the dot appear, and I am just swiping on the screen to do my rolls. The rolls, which are very important because, you know, it's the same thing with Bloodborne and Dark Souls or anything like that. I see a little thing. I got to roll into it. That's how it goes. Unfortunately, I can't roll through those crates, so I have to use my broom. Is this a broom he's got? Is this his weapon?
It is a broom. Yes, I remember that.
Okay.
Now.
Well, I'm going to use it. He has to
He's
recharge
just a man
his
who
broom.
runs a shop. You're not a hero in this game. You're just a man with a shop just trying to get by.
Okay, all right.
We all just people out here, James. We ain't all heroes.
We live in a society.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, these bits I can roll into. Yeah. I like a bit of smashing me. So I'm going to have to broom my way through it. So the idea of this is we're in roguelike territory, aren't we? So you need to be able to play through this in, like, every time it's different rooms being randomly generated.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah.
Although this initial bit, obviously, it's a tutorial, so
we're in scripted
you're not going to
mode.
experience too much of that. I'm curious as well about the controls. When you tap, can you then, like, roll during your run? So if you tap to a location, can you then roll?
Yeah, you can roll. And
move?
also, I'm doing a locked-on attack system. So my boy is charging into those creatures and attacking them with the broom automatically. I can actually roll out of it. I can get out of the way, and I can choose to, push him somewhere else. All right, we're moving loot around now. Pop that over there. Double tap to move the entire stack to this bag. There we go. Lovely. You can also drag items using your finger. See, this is the stuff which is actually more kind of accessible, more obvious to interact with on mobile. Whenever there's any kind of loot thing and you're just like, oh, drag that over there and drag that, like, you're literally handling the items like you would in real life. Some stuff translates beautifully when it comes to touchscreen in a way that maybe the mouse is a barrier between your finger and the action. So when you can just do it with your finger, that's great. Doesn't work for all games, of course. There are plenty of games where it's like, I would rather have a trigger or a button or something like that. But for certain games, whoa! This is, okay, things just ramped up massively. What on earth is going on now? How am I supposed to fight these fools? This is crazy. I'm going to lock onto you. So you tap enemies to lock onto them and start brooming them. I'm going to get murdered. Look at all these things.
Yep.
Is this a must die zone?
I don't know, James. I think maybe you're just bad at this game.
What? Well, they just went from 0 to 60 in like half a second. How am I supposed to deal with that? That's insane. No, this was a meant to die.
Yes, it was. I was just trolling you.
Right. Now, I don't like your lack of faith there. When I played that bit at the beginning of Bloodborne, okay, if we're going to talk about being, like, smug, I like you, of course. We're all terrible. We're not competition gamers, nothing like that. We never claim to be brilliant. However, when I first played Bloodborne, you get like a big blood-starved beast-looking bugger. You wake up on a gurney.
You get a giant rat.
And there's it's like a wolf kind of thing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And it's a have to die. It's one of those sections. I spent about 10 minutes killing it. I managed to kill it. And then I wandered out into the streets, into Yarnum, and started strolling about the place, and was like really confused as to what I was supposed to do because I had no weapons, and I was like, I didn't think I was supposed to, should I have died? And then I died and I went to the Hunter's Dream, and I was like, okay, fair enough. That's my only brag. I'm rubbish at everything else. I promise.
This is one of those times where you're supposed to die, because then it's now going to teach you a little bit about running a shop, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
And also some more instructions on like what the dungeons actually mean and their place in the game.
Right. Okay.
Because they, like I said, they have like time limits. You say that they're roguelites, so like they're randomized every time. So you're going to get a little bit more information on that coming your way. But yeah, this is so one thing I love to sort of talk about when Moonlighter comes up is a game that I think probably inspired it, and it's this decade-old anime game called Racketeer. That I don't know if anybody remembers these days.
Anyone in the chat? W-R?
Racketeer, R-E-C-C-E-T-E-A-R.
Right, okay.
There's the whole game is built around the joke that it sounds like Racketeer.
All right. I'll let it slide.
So it's that game is very much like this in that you run an item shop, but to actually stock the item shop, you need to go out to dungeons and collect stuff. That one was very cutesy and nice art style, that kind of thing. And you didn't have to worry so much about your inventory management. It all just kind of went into a bag, and then you just had to worry about setting prices and that kind of thing. So this, I think, has taken that formula and gone, how can we make this deeper? How can we make it more complex? How can we, bring it up to speed with current trends, like with the roguelike stuff and all that kind of thing, and deeper management sim and all that kind of thing.
I'm getting
that's really interesting.
A very sweet sort of JRPG-ish vibe off of all of this, Rick. This is making me feel warm and fuzzy.
Well, it won't for long, because then you'll have to go back into the dungeon and then you'll die again.
It's a game of opposites. Why not? But I'm enjoying talking to the wee man. He seems friendly.
So yeah, I believe at the moment you're sort of opening up your doors to sell stuff.
There you go. Ooh,
so it's got that almost gentle aspect to it of like you live in a very small town. It's kind of run down, and what your sort of goal on the town side of things is to build up money that you get from selling stuff to then rejuvenate the town that you are, living in.
Look at that! Yeah, I just sold something. I was going to say don't touch my stuff. But I think that might be going against the general tone.
Yeah, they're not thieves. They're just here to buy things.
I forgot I was a shop, all right? I thought she was just in my room nicking my stuff. Look, you got to be careful. It's a crazy world out there, Rick. Got to be cautious. And now someone else has come in. I like all the little backpacks on them. This is very charming. I'm getting nice. Yeah, I'm getting nice vibes. Again, we were talking about Animal Crossing earlier. Just like kind of like nice. Oh, look, a villager, and there's a person, and we can help them out, and let's sell a thing that really doesn't mean anything, but it's quite a nice thing to distract you from all the horror in the world.
But in this, you're going to go out and experience some horror in the world, because you have to start going back through the dungeons and fighting stuff and not dying, which is really hard because you only have a broom and you get hit for a lot of damage.
We did see that, yeah.
But it's sort of that gradual build, as you say, in the roguelike style. So like in this case, you gradually build up, so you'll have items in your inventory even if you die, I think. And then you can go back, you sell them, you start building up some money. Then you can start like investing in the blacksmith. He'll give you some armor. Then when you've got armor, you can last a bit longer in the dungeons because you won't die as fast. Right. And it's that incremental, slow burn, slow build of this game that I think is what really attracts people to it. And I think that's going to work well on mobile as well. Because, it's the kind of thing where you can pick it up for 5 minutes. You say, oh, I'm just going to do some dungeon raids for a bit, die miserably, and then go back and have a nap and sell some stuff and then clock out for the day.
I feel like I've missed something, Rick. I feel like the man told me to do something and maybe I didn't do it.
Oh, no.
And now I can't get anywhere.
Have you locked the door to your shop?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Did I? I'm not sure. I may have taken my whole get away from me, terrifying people a little bit too seriously. This isn't how you run a business. This is why, Rick, I work in games media, and I don't run a charming boutique selling knickknacks.
Do you need to put some items out on your item shop?
Oh, that's what. Okay, so no, he did encourage me. They did encourage me to do something with a bag. That's probably what
your
that was.
bag's in your top right, I think.
Yeah. I was trying to open it, and maybe I was standing in the wrong place. Well, I might have to stack the shelves a little bit later, Rick, because I believe we've come to an end. And
how can it be time already, James? I've had a blast. the past 2 hours. It's like no time at all has passed.
It really has been quite a thing. I was concerned. I was still waiting for the explosion. Maybe it'll come tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow to see the whole thing fall apart. Because we are going to be back again. Thank you, genuinely, thank you so much, anyone who stuck around through this whole thing, anyone who watched the first ever Pocket Gamer Launchpad. We've had a fantastic time, genuinely. And we're going to be back tomorrow. Now, Rick, he was the Thursday shift. We're going to be having Danielle join us tomorrow, another one of our Steel Media Pocket Gamer cohorts. She's going to be joining me for the next show. And then after that, we're going to have Dan, the man who came up with this whole thing, who's played all the games and done everything. He's going to be spitting some fire over there on Saturday. So do come back and join us for those two events. We're going to have loads more to show you. It's going to be a really good time. We want to thank everybody above us. PUBG Mobile, Bandai Namco, Game Loft, One Punch Man, Super Evil Megacorp, and those guys at the end, they're super evil lot. The stream enjoyed the content, I think. they liked it. So maybe there'll be a bit more of that stuff coming. So do stay tuned. And of course, go over and check out pocketgamer.com, pocketgamer.biz, and the Pocket Gamer YouTube channel. We've got all of your mobile gaming needs. That's literally what our job is. Otherwise, there's no point me getting up again, Rick. Let's just go to bed right now. It's only 7 o'clock in the evening in the UK, but that's it. I'm done. I'm spent. I've had it. Do you want to say anything to the lovely people before we go? I was just about to sign off there, but Rick?
No, I just want to say as well, thank you so much to everybody who's joined. I've been trying to avoid looking at the figures because I am very nervous about being the first one on and the first one doing this. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched. I know there's been quite a few of you, and I know we're not the only stream happening tonight.
No.
So I'm incredibly grateful for everybody who took the time out of their day to come and join us and watch some great games. I hope everyone's had a great time. And I hope you come back tomorrow and on Saturday. We're going to have even more games. Do check out pocketgamer.com for all the information about all these games. And have a great evening. Fabulous.
A big salute. We're done. We're out.
I'm going to go eat a big pizza.
Do it. See you tomorrow, folks. Thank you for watching.